दिला कित्याक तुमकां गायड करपी तुमची टिचरीस आसा आयज प्रोफेशनल आमचे प्रवीण सरा सारके तुमकां गायड करतले सो हेजो जाता इतलो भरपूर फायदो घेवपाचे कित्याक तुमी आमचे फुडले जनरेशन आनी म्हाका दिसता कित्याक तुमकां आयज जो कॅरियर गायडन्सच्या बाबतींत तुमकां मॅक्सिमम बेनिफीट आसा तो घेवचो तसोच हांव आमचे चेअरमॅन श्री जयंत जाधव आनी तेंची आख्खी टीम हांकां खरेंच हांव धन्यवाद म्हणटा कित्याक जयंत जाधव म्हाका दिसता जेन्ना रवींद्र भवनाचो चेअरमॅन जाले लास्ट 2 वर्सां ताका पळयता ज्या हिसपान ते हांगा काम चालू आसा जेन्ना ताका न्यू टीम मेळ्ळी बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टराची आनी ते बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टराक वांगडाक घेवन सगळ्यांक वांगडाक घेवन कशें काम करप म्हणटा ते पद्दत कामाची पद्दत आनी जे स्ट्रिक्टनस ताणें दवरलेले आसा रवींद्र भवनान कित्याक हे गरज आसा सगळ्याच भितर ताणें आतां तुमकां सांगला जे कोर्सीस चलता आनी रवींद्र भवनान जी एक्टिविटी चालू आसता हांव ताका सांगपाक सोदता मुद्दाम आयज आमच्या भितर मिनिस्टर आसा आमचो आर्ट एंड कल्चराचो आख्ख्या गोंया भितर म्हाका दिसता जे रवींद्र भवन मुरगांवचे आसा जी एक्टिविटीज हांगा चलता पळय म्हाका दिसता खंयच चलना आसतना स्टुडंट्साक लागून जी डेली उठून म्हाका दिसता म्हयन्यान 2-3 एक्टिविटी चालूच आसता कंटिन्यूस म्हाका दिसता म्हाजे आतां हे 2 वर्साचे आमदार म्हणून जाल्लेल्याक म्हाका दिसता हांवूच त्या रवींद्र भवनात म्हाका दिसता कितलेशे प्रोग्राम मोर देन म्हाका दिसता आयज पर्यंत म्हाका दिसता 80 ते 100 फावटी तरी पावलो सो हांवूय आतां जयंताक म्हणटालो कितें पुरो कर बाबा कितले एक्टिविटीज डेली उठून तुजी एक्टिविटीज चालू आसता आनी ताका बरे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स मेळ्ळे आसा जे सगळे जाण कॉपरेट करून सगळे जाण रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी घेवन आयज म्हाका दिसता काम करीत आसा भरपूर काम करता खरंच तांकां मनान काळजांतसून शाबासकी दिता आनी हो मुद्दम स्टुडंट्साक लागून जो कॅरियर गायडन्स आयज दवरलो आसा तेजे लागून हांव तांकां आख्खे तेंच्या रवींद्र भवनाक हांव शाबासकी दिता त्याच प्रमाणे मुद्दाम आमच्या मदीं टायम काडून आमचो आयज गोंयचो मंत्री हांगा आसा जो आर्ट एंड कल्चर तशेंच स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर आनी आयज आमी पळयता जे हिसपान ते काम करता आनी तेजी तशीच स्टायल आसा काम करपाची कित्याक तो यंग आसा डायनेमीक आसा आनी जे हिसपान ते काम करता तेजी स्ट्रिक्टनस आसा काम करतना तेजे हांवें पळयलां काम करपाचे स्टायल जें काम जाता ते सोमतें ऑन द स्पॉट आतां तुमकां एग्जाम्पल जयंत जाधवान दिलेलें आसा ऑन द स्पॉट करता जें काम जायना आनी जें शक्य ना जाल्यार ते तुमकां डायरेक्ट सांगतलो पळय हें जावंक शकना हेजें कारण अशें आसा म्हणून स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड टायम वेस्ट करनासतना आयज काम करीत आख्खे गोंयभर एक बरे पद्दतीन काम करपाक लागलेलें आसा जें आमी पळयलां तेज्या मिनिस्ट्रीच्या अंडर तेणें भरपूर बरी बरी कामां केलेली आसा ती मागीर स्पोर्ट्साच्या क्षेत्रान आसूं आर्ट एंड कल्चराच्या क्षेत्रान आसूं कित्याक आयज आमी पळयत येयलेले आसा हांव सगळ्यांक तुमकां स्टुडंट्सांक मुद्दाम सांगपाक सोदता की तुमी हांगा उपस्थित आसात आयचो हेजो मॅक्सिमम बेनिफीट जो कॅरियर गायडन्स आसा तुमी घेवचे कित्याक हे तुमचे फ्युचराचेर तुमचो फ्युचर हेजे फुडें जो तुमचे डिपेंड आसतलो सो हेजो मॅक्सिमम बेनिफीट घेवचो परत एकदां तुमकां सगळ्यांक हांगा ऑल द बेस्ट म्हणटा हांव स्टुडंट्सांक तुमच्या फ्युचराक लागून तशें सगळे सर टिचर्स जे हांगा उपस्थित आसता स्कुलाची कित्याक तुमच्या गायडन्साक अंडरूच आयज ही भुरगीं फुडें वयपाक लागलेली आसा आनी त्याच प्रमाणे परत एकदा रवींद्र भवनाच्या आख्ख्या कमिटीक धन्यवाद म्हणटा कित्याक तेंच्यांनी हो प्रोग्राम हांगा घडोवन हाडलो आनी मुद्दाम आमकां एक नामनेचो प्रवीण सर आयज हांगा तुमकां आपली स्पीच डिलिव्हरी करतलो ऑन कॅरियर गायडन्स तशेंच आमचे मंत्री बाब श्री गोविंद गावडेक हांव धन्यवाद म्हणटा तुमकां सगळ्यांक देव बरें करूं जय हिंद
देव बरें करूं अशें आमदार श्री संकल्प अमोंकर हाणें आमकां बरे तरेन मार्गदर्शन दिलां भुरग्यां खातीर रवींद्र भवन खुबशे कार्यक्रम करतात मोनोलॉग कॉम्पिटिशन म्हणनाका शिवराज्याक 16 जेन्ना कार्यक्रम जाता तेन्ना आमी सेन्सिटिव्ह कॉम्पिटिशन करतात तशेंच ड्रॉइंग कॉम्पिटिशन करतात तशेंच आमच्या चेअरमॅनान आमकां सांगलेलें की हांगा कितलेशे ताका क्लासीस चालू आसा तांचोय तुमी लाभ घेवचो तशेंच गॅदरिंगा खातीर सदांच आमकां भुरग्यां कडल्यान टिचरी कडल्यान हेडमास्टरा कडल्यान फोन येतालो की केन्ना तुमचें रवींद्र भवन ओपन जातलें पण कालचो जो टॉपसी टॉपी जो JCIचो ऑर्गनायज केल्लो रेनबो कॉम्पिटिशन हांगा भरपूरसो लाभ हांगा लागलेलो आसा तुमी सगळ्यां कडेन मागतात हेडमास्टर टिचर्सा कडेन मागता की ताणें हाचो लाभ घेवचो मुखार मागता आमचे कला क्रीडा आनी सांस्कृतीक मंत्री श्री गोविंद गावडे हाचें तुमी मार्गदर्शन आयकपाक तुमी रावल्यात मंत्री बद्दल एकूच सांगपाचें म्हटल्यार आमी करियर गायडन्साची सुरवात करता तेन्ना की ऑन टायम पावप म्हटल्यार एक मंत्री आसून सुद्दां जाता डॉट टायमार 5 मिनटां तो पयलीं पावता आनी अशें आमचे धडाधडीचे गोंय राज्याचे आमचे मंत्री जावन आसा श्री गोविंद गावडे हाचे कडेन मागता की ताणें माचयेर येवन आपले उलोवप करचें
सगळ्यांक म्हजो मायमुगाचो नमस्कार. आजच्या या रिओपनिंग सेरेमनीच्या निमित्तान विद्यार्थ्यांक मार्गदर्शनाच्या औचित्य साधून आजच्या या व्यासपीठाचेर विराजमान आसात म्हज्या लागींचे इश्ट मोरगांव मतदारसंघाचे आमदार आदरणीय संकल्पजी आमोणकर, म्हणजे दुसरे इश्ट वास्कोचे आमदार आणि इश्टी पिढीचे चेअरमॅन श्रीमान दाजीबाब साळकर, ज्याने एकंदरीत रवींद्र भवन वास्कोची एसी ऑडिटोरियम जो आसा तर पुन्हा सुरुवात जावपा खातीर जी मेहनत घेतिल्ली आसा ते या रवींद्र भवनाचे अध्यक्ष श्रीमान जाधवजी आज करियर गायडन्स ह्या विशयाचेर तुमकां मार्गदर्शन करपा खातीर आयिल्ले कीनोट स्पीकर आर्किटेक्ट प्रवीणजी सबनीस, या वास्तूचे उपाध्यक्ष श्रीमान धर्मेंद्र प्रभुदेसाईजी, या रवींद्र भवन वास्कोचे सगळे संचालक मंडळ, वेगवेगळ्या हायस्कुलाचे प्रिन्सिपल, टीचर्स, त्याचप्रमाणे म्हजे विद्यार्थी मित्र, पत्रकार बंधू, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया, तुमकां सगळ्यांक म्हजो मायमोगाचो नमस्कार आणि खूप खूप शुभेच्छा दिता. त्याचबरोबर अभिनंदन करता एकंदरीत संचालक मंडळाचे, ज्याणेन फॉलोअप हो शब्द इतलो क्विक आणि इतलो सामको सिंप्लिसिटी भितर हाडिल्लो आसा. आणि फॉलोअप जर खंयच्या एका गोष्टीची जर करीत जाल्यार ताजो रिजल्ट कितें जावपाक शकता हे म्हाका जाधव आणि तांच्या टिमीन आज दाखवून दिल्लें आसा. मित्रांनो, असे म्हणतात की सब्र का फल बड़ा मीठा होता है, आणि म्हणूनच आजच्या ह्या धावपळीच्या जीवनान भितर प्रत्येक मनीस जो आसा रिझल्ट फास्ट अपेक्षा करता. पूण काही काही गोष्टी या निसर्गाचो सुद्धा नियम असता जेका त्या प्रोसेसांतल्यान वयचे पडटा. आणि म्हणूनच माता शबरी हिका सुद्धा श्री प्रभू रामचंद्राचे दर्शन घेवपा खातीर कितलेशे पेशन्स घेवचो पडलो. आणि म्हणून हांव म्हणटलो की पेशन्स आणि परसिस्टंट लीड्स टू द सक्सेस. आणि एव्हरी स्टुडंट और एव्हरी मॅन ऑन दिस अर्थ वॉन्ट्स टू अचीव द सक्सेस. पुढे हे यशस्वी खंयचो एक मनीस एका रातयान जावपाक शकना. ताचे खातीर मेहनत, जिद्द, चिकाटी, संघर्ष, संकटाक सुद्धा समोर वयचो पडटा. आणि म्हणूनच ह्या संवसारान भितर डिफिकल्ट जर कितें जर आसत आणि हे साधे जर ताचे एक्सप्लेनेशन एका बरें एका खेळगड्यान जर दिल्लें जर आसत तो म्हळ्यार एक जिम कुरियर, ज्याने टेनिस प्लेयर असो हो सगळ्यात लॉंगेस्ट चॅम्पियनशिप म्हळ्यार खूप वर्सां चॅम्पियन म्हणून ज्याचे नाव आसा तो सहज म्हणटा की खंयचीय गोष्ट जर सोपी जर आसा, इफ इट इज इजी वी कॅन डू इट रायट नाव, बट इफ इट इज डिफिकल्ट इट्स टेक अ लॉंग टाइम. आणि ताजे मुखार तो वचून सांगता, ही सेड गुड थिंग्स can be done instantly, but जो गोष्टी आम्ही इन्स्टंटली मेळयता तेका व्हॅल्यू काय नासता. आणि म्हणूनच यशस्वी जर जातलो जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता संघर्ष किंवा कठीण परिस्थितीचेर मात करपाकूच जाय. आणि ही जर मनान जर तुम्ही जर सगळे काही गोष्टी जर हाडल्यो जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता तुम्ही सहज करपाक शकता. अँड दिस इज द रायट एज. होच एक असो वेळ जावन आसा, त्या वेळाचेर त्या काळाच्या प्रमाणे जर तुम्ही ओघाच्या भितर तुम्ही गेले जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता द टार्गेटेड गोल कॅन बी अचिव्ड इन अ स्टिप्युलेटेड पिरियड ऑफ टाइम. हे करता असताना एक निसर्गाचो एक नियम सांगता. एव्हरीबडी हर्ड अबाउट द डायमंड. I think it is the hardest substance on the earth. But diamond जावपाक खातीर it has to go. म्हाका दिसता 2200 degree Fahrenheit temperature. At the extreme pressure of 7,25,000 pounds per square inch. हो प्रोसेस जालो नंतरूच एक डायमंड फॉर्म जाता. आणि म्हाका दिसता हे सगळे करता असताना इट टेक्स ऑलमोस्ट 1 billion to 3 billion years. 1 billion is equal to 100 crore years. Please listen, my dear friends. 1 billion is equal to 100 crore years it takes to form a diamond. आणि म्हणूनच आजपर्यंत जगा भितर अशी खंयचीच टेक्नॉलॉजी ना की जशी तुमकां आवय बापायन जन्म 9 महिने 9 दीस पोटान दवरून दिल्लो आसा. 5 वर्साचेर खंयची 5 महिन्यांनी एक भुरग्याक जन्म घेवपा खातीर जगान भितर टेक्नॉलॉजी ना आणि मुखार ती केन्ना जावपा ना. कारण तो प्रोसेसान भितर आमी वयचे पडटात आणि हेजे खातीर आमकां पेशन्स घेवप हे तितलेच म्हत्वाचें आसा. खंयचे आवय बापायक दिसना की म्हजो भुरगो जो आसा तो प्रीमॅच्युअर्ड जन्माक येवचो. प्रीमॅच्युअर्ड जर जन्माक जर आयलो जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता तो एखादे अपंगूळ जावपाक शकता. ताचे हेल्थाचे परिणाम जावपाक शकता. आणि म्हणूनच प्रत्येक गोष्टीक तो वेळ घेवचोच पडटा. कबीरदास एका लिखाणात म्हणटा की धीरे धीरे रे मना धीरे सब कुछ होए. माली सिंचे सव घडा फल ऋतू आये फल होए. हळूहळू जर आम्ही सगळे काही गोष्टी जर आम्ही केले जाल्यार तातूंतल्यानूच आमकां फळ मेळपाक शकता. एका माळी म्हळ्यार ताका आमी फार्मर म्हणटात. एका रोप्याक जर तेणीन एक कळशाच्या जाग्याचेर 100 कळशे उदक जर एका बरोबर घातले आणि त्या झाडापासून आम्ही फळाची अपेक्षा जर बाळगली जाल्यार तो ऋतू आयले बगर आणि तो वेळ गेल्ले बगर आमकां फळ केन्नाच मेळपाक शकना किंवा तेजे फूल केन्नाच जावपाक मेळ शकना. आणि म्हणूनच हे सगळे काही गोष्टी मुखार वता आसतना पाशियस हे खूप महत्वाचे आसा. पेशन्स इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. म्हाका दिसता जी भुरग्यां हांगसर सगळे आयिल्ले आसात म्हाका दिसता बरेचशी सिग्नलां क्रॉस करून आयिल्ले आसात. आज मनशाच्या धावा जगातल्या ह्या फास्ट लायफान भितर एक ग्रीन सिग्नल पडले म्हणटरी आमकां गाडी वचपाची आसता. पण मुखावयलो जो ड्रायव्हर जो आसा तो ड्रायव्हरान जर 5 किंवा 6 सेकंद जर गाडी आपली मुखार वचपाक जर वेळ जर काढलो जाल्यार फाटलो जो ड्रायव्हर जो आसा तो पे 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 करून हॉर्न मारीत रावता जणू काही खंय तरी उजो लागिल्लो आसा आणि तो आपल्याक पालोवपाक जाय. दॅट इज कॉल्ड इम्पेशन्स. म्हणून पेशन्स जर घेतलो जाल्यार खूप काही गोष्टी जावपाक शकता. एक तुमच्या सारख्याला एका फार्मर एका जाग्याचेर जेन्ना एका बांय किंवा कुवो मारपाचो प्रयत्न करता तो 20 फूट डीप वता. ताका दिसता की ह्या जाग्याचेर उदक लागपाना. तो दुसरे कडेन वता आणि परत दुसरे कडेन वचून 30 फूट उदक खड्डो मारता पूण थंय ताका उदक लागना. परत सगळे उदक लागना म्हणून आणि तिसरे कडेन खड्डो मारता तरी असताना ताका उदक लागना. म्हणून हेच जर ताणेन 70 फूट एकेच कडेन जर हो खड्डो मारिल्लो आशिल्लो बांय जर मारपाचो प्रयत्न केल्लो आशिल्लो जाल्यार घडये ताका उदक लागता आशिल्लें. ही मंद बुद्धीन ताका साथ दिना. म्हणजे मंद बुद्धी जी आसा पयली तेजेर खूप आज अभ्यास करप हे तितलेच महत्वाचे असा. त्याच्या पलीकडे एखाद्या शेजाऱ्याक जर एक 40-50 फुटाचेरूच जर उदक लागले जाल्यार तो म्हणटा तुका सगळे कितें मेळ्ळे, तुझे सगळे जाता, म्हजे कांय जायना. मित्रांनो, एक पुराणी अशी एक गोष्ट असा, ओल्ड स्टोरी असा. An elephant and a dog was a good friends. म्हणजे एन फिमेल एलिफंट म्हणटा, हत्तीण जाका म्हणटात, आणि कुतिया जाका म्हणटात, आणि बरोबर एकाच दिसा प्रेग्नंट जाता. कुत्रो जो आसा, कुतिया जी आसा, ती 2 महिन्यांनी 4 भुरग्यांक जन्म दिता. आणि ही कुतिया आपल्या मैत्रिणीची खबर घेवपा खातीर ते हत्तीणे कडेन वता आणि हत्तीणीक विचारतात तुझे कितें जालें. ती हत्तीण मान हालयता, कारण थंय कांयच दिसना. ती कुतिया जी आसा ती परत वता, परत 2 महिन्यांनी आणि 4 भुरग्यांक पप्पीक जन्म दिता आणि परत त्या हत्तीणीक मेळपाक वता आणि हत्तीणीक विचारता तुझे कितें जालें. ती परत हत्तीण मान हालयता, काय जावना. परत 4 महिन्यांनी परत ती कुतिया परत त्या हत्तीणेकडे वता आणि ती हत्तीणीक विचारता की तुझे कितें जालें. त्याच्या वेळेस काही दिसण म्हणून कुतिया त्या हत्तीणेक एक प्रश्न करता, आर यू शुअर दॅट यू आर प्रेग्नंट. त्या वेळाचेर ती हत्तीण तेका उत्तर दिता. हे उत्तर भुरग्यांनो तुम्ही खूप मनांतल्यान आयकपाक जाय. ती सांगता, माय डियर फ्रेंड, आय एम कॅरिंग अ एलिफंट इन माय बॉडी. I am carrying an elephant in my body. When it strikes the earth on the ground, earth feels. It gives me 2 years to give a birth. And when an elephant crosses the road, every human being stops and watch in admiration. There is the strength. This is the power of the patience. My dear friend, patience is very important. Confidence is very important. And planning is very important. तुम्ही जेदे वेळाचेर मोठे जन अधिकारी जातले किंवा मुखारपण वतले तेदे वेळाचेर हे नियोजन करप, त्या नियोजनाचेर प्रशासनाचो कब्जो आसप, तेन्नाच तुम्ही एक बरे मनीस जावपाक शकता किंवा बरे अधिकारी जावपाक शकता. आणि त्याचे नियोजन, त्याची बुनियाद आज घालपाची गरज आसा. तुमचो ब्रेन जो आसा तो आज ट्रेन करप हे तितलेच महत्वाचे आसा. म्हणून हांव म्हणटा सदांच की जे तुम्ही काम करता त्याची अपेक्षा केन्नाच बाळगू नकाच. कारण निसर्ग तुमकां पळयता, निसर्ग आमकां सगळ्यांक पळयता. म्हजो एक ल्हान म्हणटोय भुरग्यांक एक प्रश्न आहा, कोणाक KFC म्हळ्यार कितें तें खबर आहा? व्हॉट इज इट? रेस्टॉरंट. एम आय राईट? ओके, स्पीक लाऊडली. आय एम इंटरॅक्टिंग विथ यू. बी आर कॉन्फिडंट गाईज. KFCच्या फाउंडराचें नाव तुमकां खबर आसा? एनीबडी नो? कर्नल सॅन्डर्स हो मनीस, ज्या मनशान जवळ एक रेसिपी घेऊन हजारो रेस्टॉरंटाक भेट दिली. हजारो रेस्टॉरंटाक, एक न्ही, 2 न्ही, 100 न्ही, 500 न्ही, 600 न्ही, 1009 रेस्टॉरंट ही हॅज विजिटेड. ताजी रेसिपी एक्सेप्ट करपाक जाय म्हणून. पण nobody has accepted his recipe. At the age of 62, तुमच्या सारखेले मनीस, आमच्या सारखेले मनीस ज्यांना रिटायरमेंट घेऊन आराम करपाच्या प्रयत्नात आसा, त्या वेळाचेर हो मनीस at the age of 62 years he is founding this KFC restaurant, KFC franchise. आणि ज्या वेळाचेर हो मनीस ह्या संवसारांतल्यान अंतरता at the age of 90 years, this man has established almost 6,000 outlets in the 48 countries across the globe. आणि ज्या वेळाचेर 2023 रिकॉर्ड हांव जेन्ना काडून पळयता त्या वेळाचेर आज या KFC चे फ्रँचायज आउटलेट 25,000 पेक्षा अधिक जवळजवळ 150 देशांनी आज सुरुवात झाली आसा. कितें सांगता हे इतलेच सांगता, डोंट लूज युअर कॉन्फिडेंस. असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसे स्वीकार करो. असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसको स्वीकार करो. I just missed out the line. असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसको स्वीकार करो. जब तक निंद चैन की त्यागो तुम, संघर्षों का मैदान छोड़कर मत भागो तुम. कुछ किए बिना जय जयकार नहीं होती. कोशिश करने वालों की that's the spirit here. Last and finally, before I conclude my speech, who is interested in the literature? Anybody wants like to become an author, or anybody wants to build a career in the literature field? My dear friend, Harry Potter हे नोवेल कोणाक शब्द ऐकलेले असतात? Harry Potter. Anybody, do you like it? Have you read it? My dear friend, the Harry Potter author is J.K. Rowling, Mrs. J.K. Rowling. 25 वर्षाची असताना आवय बाहेर पडली. पोर्तुगालातल्यान ब्रिटनात गेली, कागार झाली. विदिन 13 months of time डायव्होर्स झालो. एका हातानं पेन, एका हातानं आपल्या लहान मणकुले भुरगे घेऊन त्याच ब्रिटनच्या रस्त्यावेलन दर ठोकरे खात आपले जीवन गुजारण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. आणि जवळजवळ 1997 त्या पर्यंत 12 जे पब्लिशर्स असतात त्यांच्याकडे 12 पब्लिशरांकडे हातानं बरलेली स्क्रिप्ट घेऊन पब्लिकेशना खातीर गेली. 90,000 word in that novel. 90,000 word has been written 12 times for the publication because she was not having any penny, any money for xeroxing the copies or typing it on the computer. ज्यावेळेचे ब्लूम्सबेरी ह्या नावाच्या पब्लिशराकडून ती गेली. 12 जणांनी टिचकले. परत त्याच्याकडे गेले, त्यांनी एक्सेप्ट केले आणि हे बुक घेऊन आपले 8 होतो सीईओ आपल्या 8 वर्षाच्या भुरग्याकडे ते पुस्तक दिले. किती चमत्कार घडलो. त्याचे भुरगे त्या इथल्या पुस्तकांभितर नॉवेलां भितर आज रमले. त्यांनी लव केलो आणि त्या दिवसापासून हे J.K. रॉलिंगची जिंदगी असं पहिली. आज जगातलं सर्वोत्कृष्ट ऑथर हायली जेका रेम्युनरेशन मिळालेलं कोण जर असा जाल्यार ती J.K. रॉलिंग असा. ज्या पुस्तकाचेर आज फिल्मां काडिल्ली आसात. सुसायड करपाची पाळी आयिल्ली आशिल्ली पूण केन्नाच गिव अप केले ना. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इफ यू वॉन्ट टू बिकम अ सक्सेसफुल पर्सन, हॅव अ पेशन्स. Have a patience. Don't go behind the money. Go behind what you have inside your brain. Don't expect anything. कारण नियतीचा निसर्गाचा सुद्धा एक नियम असा. आम्ही कोणाकोणाने खाल्ले असा एकूच हात पै राहिलो. आम्ही कोणी खावना मँगोज. आम्ही म्हणल्यार मँगोज यार. एव्हरीबडी हॅज इटन द बेर. आमो खालो नंतर तुम्ही काथो जो असं पयली तो काथो खंय पडलो? खंय पडलो? जमनीचेर उडयलो का डस्टबिना उडयलो? आमो तुम्ही केन्ना अपेक्षा तरी केल्ली आशिल्ली? तो आंब्याची बी जेन्ना किंवा काथो तुम्ही ज्या वेळाचेर वडयलो तेका हळूच अंकुर फुटलो, पालवी जाली आणि तो इल्लोसो रोपटो जालो. तो रोपटो बरेचशे जाणांनी काढून तो रोयलो आणि नंतरूच तेका खंय तरी आंबे लागपाक लागले. निसर्ग तुम्ही अपेक्षा करिनासतना सुद्धा तुमका बऱ्योचश्यो काही गोष्टी दिता. तुमचे केल्ले कष्ट जो आसा तो केन्नाच वाया घालिनात. हो निसर्गाचो नियम जावन आसा. देर इज नो शॉर्टकट फॉर द सक्सेस इन युअर एंटायर लाईफ. लास्ट वता वता आसतना म्हजो तुमकां एक प्रश्न, तुमचो म्हाका एक प्रश्न आसतलो. माय डियर फ्रेंड किंवा माय डियर सर, तू फक्त भाशणां करता का तुका आमकां कितें सांगपाचें आसा? माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, आय थिंक तुम्ही म्हाका दिसता 17-18 वर्सांचे आशिल्ली तेन्ना हांव राजकारणांत जेन्ना देविल्लो आशिल्लो, प्रवेश केल्लो आशिल्लो, त्या वेळाचेर तुम्ही जन्म सुद्धा घेवन आशिल्लो आसतलो. ह्या माचयेचेर येवपा खातीर इट टूक मी 17 years. I struggled day and night with the political muscle power, with the money power, against the money power, against the muscle power, against everything. My dear friends, don't give up. I can say how मोठ्या अभिमानाने मानान तुमकां सांगपाक शकता की yes, I have done it. And that too खंयच्या एका राजकीय पक्षाकडेन मान सकल घातलेला, स्वतंत्र म्हणून आज निवडून आयलो आणि त्याच पहिल्याच पावटी निवडून आल्यानंतर कॅबिनेटात तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या आशीर्वादात आम्ही स्थान मिळवले. स्वतःच्या कर्तव्याद्वारे स्वतःच्या तापस्तानीचे. परत हा हांगा थांबता आसतना एक कलेचो भोगतो आणि कलेचो मोग आशिल्लो म्हणून फक्त इतलेंच तुमकां शेवटचें हांव सांगपाक सोदतां. बरीचशे जाण विद्यार्थ्यांची मानसिकता विद्यार्थ्यांच्या मानसिकतेपेक्षा किंवा टीचर्साच्या मानसिकतेच्या पेक्षा पालकांची एक मानसिकता आज निर्माण झालेली आसा. म्हजो भुरगो जोडून फास्ट आणि चड म्हयने पैसे जोडचे. पाब्लो पिकासो नावाचो एक जगातलो एक सुप्रसिद्ध असो चित्रकार जावन आसा. अमेरिकेच्या न्यूयॉर्क शहरात एक चली या पाब्लो पिकासाक आदळली आणि तिने ताका वळखले आणि ती म्हणपाक लागली, हे सर, आर यू पाब्लो पिकासो? येस. ती म्हणपाक म्हाका एक पिक्चर काढून दी, म्हजे एक पिक्चर काढून दी. विदिन 30 seconds ऑफ टाइम ही ड्रू वन पिक्चर. आणि ज्या वेळेस पिक्चर एका एक्झिबिशनाक लागले त्या वेळेस दॅट पिक्चर्स कॉस्ट, दॅट चित्राचो कॉस्ट जो आशिल्लो तो 50 lakhs rupees आशिल्लो. डू यू नो हाऊ मच टाइम this Pablo Picasso has spared for this 50 lakhs word, 50 lakhs picture? Just 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. आणि त्याच अशे एक मनीस जर 30 सेकंदात जर 50 लाख जर जोडपाक शकता जाल्यार आपण त्या फिल्डात कित्याक वचपाक शकना. म्हणून जय एक्झिबिशन आशिल्ले थंय पाब्लो पिकासो ते चली वचून मेळ्ळे आणि त्या चलयेन सांगपाक लागले, सर, आय वॉन्ट टू लर्न पेंटिंग, आय वॉन्ट टू लर्न अ ड्रॉइंग. He said, why? Sir, if you are getting a 50 lakhs rupees in just a 30 seconds, why I should not try for it? त्यांनी सांगले, my dear friend, हे 50 लाखाचे चित्र आज जे प्रदर्शना भितर जे आसा पयली, ते 50 लाखाचे चित्र प्रदर्शित करपा खातीर it took me 30 years of my life. It took me 30 years of my life. My dear friends, एकूच सांगता, patience and persistence will lead to your success, will lead your success. Target your goal, achieve the dreams, and wherever you go, please be confident, be emotional, and be courageous. Thank you.
कला, क्रीडा आणि सांस्कृतिक विभागाचे मंत्री श्री गोविंद गावडे आणि तुमका बरे तरेन सगळ्यांक तुमका भुरग्यांक मार्गदर्शन दिला. 500 म्हणटा ते कितें आसता ताणें इतले बरे तरेन एक्सप्लेन केला. हांव चड वेळ घेनासतना म्हटल्यार आयज तुमी सगळे मुद्दामून आयकपाक रावल्यात प्रवीण सबनीस. तशेंच हांव सगळ्या बोर्ड मेंबर्सा कडेन मागता की ताणें प्लीज माचयेर येवचें आमचे रावळी पेडणेकर, प्रकाश गावत, शांताराम पराडकर, अर्चना कुत्रेकर तसेच दामू कुत्रेकर, दिलीप काजळे सगळ्या बोर्ड मेंबर्सा कडेन मागता की ताणें माचयेर येवचें. जसो आयज लिटरेचरच्या बाबतीत आयज आमचे मंत्री हांगा उलयले, आयज आमचे मुरगांवचे आमदार श्री संकल्प आमोणकर गेले एसेंब्लीक हाणें आमकां की लायब्ररीचो प्रपोजल घातलेलो एसेंब्ली भितर. तो लायब्ररीचो प्रपोजल आमी आमचे रवींद्र भवनचे चेअरमॅन हाणें एक्सेप्ट केलेलो आसा आनी लायब्ररीची जी सुवात आसा आमी रवींद्र भवन दितली ताच्या खातीर रवींद्र भवन चेअरमॅना खातीर एकदम मोठ्यान ताळयो मारचें हांव मागता. आमचे कला क्रीडा आनी सांस्कृतीक मंत्री श्री गोविंद गावडे, आयचे आमचे कीनोट स्पीकर श्री प्रवीण सबनीस हाका मोगाची भेट आमी दिता. आमचे कीनोट स्पीकर ताणें गोंया भितर 2800 वर्कशॉप केलेले आसा कॉर्पोरेट टिचर्स स्टुडंट्साच्या हितून. ताणें ट्रेनर्स असोसिएशन इन गोवा एक सर्टिफाईड ट्रेनर म्हणून ताका मान दिलेलो आसा. तशेंच ताणें ट्रेनिंग अकॅडमी ऑफ ज्युनियर चेंबर इंटरनॅशनल USA हाणें एक ही हॅज ऑथर्ड 8 मॅन्युअल्स. ताजो एक मंडे न्यूज म्हणून हो मोटिवेशनल ब्लॉग हांगा सदांच येता. हांव मागता सगळे जे वयर मानेस आसा श्री आमचे मंत्री श्री गोविंद गावडे हांणी चडांत चड वेळ हांगा काडून हांगा आयल्या बद्दल तांचे देव बरें करूं म्हणटात. तशेंच मुरगांवचे आमदार श्री संकल्प आमोणकर, तशेंच वास्कोचे आमदार कृष्णा दाजी साळकर, तशेंच आमचे रवींद्र भवनचे चेअरमॅन जय जाधव, व्हायस चेअरमॅन डॉक्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रभुदेसाय, तशेंच सगळे बोर्ड मेंबर्स.
इजी टू एडवायज स्टुडंट्स, बट ज्या वेळाचेर तूं फेस करून ज्या वेळाचेर येता तेन्नाच ताचें कितलें म्हत्व आसा हेंवूय आमकां दिसता. I am congratulating to my dear friend Shriman Jadhav and all the members of this Ravindra Bhavan who has taken the efforts for reopening this Ravindra Bhavan for the students like this and the artist of fraternity who has been refrained since last 4 years for performing at this great stage, I mean to say. And thanks to my dear friends Daji, Salkar, Sankalp, Amonkar, who has been always instrumental for making this Ravindra Bhavan to its originality. I would like to thank each and everyone, every Govind who has supported and stood by the side of our Director of Art and Culture with the immense patience, and जितलो तुम्ही पेशन्स घेतले तितलेंच बरें फळ मेळटलें. म्हणून हांवें म्हणिल्लें सब्र का फल बहुत बड़ा मीठा होता.
मोटिवेशनल स्पीच आनी भुरग्यांक करियर गायडन्स दिवपाक तुमी हांगा आयिल्ले. वॉट इज युअर मेसेज टू ऑल द स्टुडंट्स हू आर स्टँडींग हियर, बिकॉज यू ऑल्सो रोल ऑफ इन्स्पिरेशन फॉर मेनी पीपल.
सगळ्यांत पयलीं रवींद्र भवनाच्या आख्खे टिमी, चेअरमॅन, वायस चेअरमॅन आनी बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर कॉंग्रेच्युलेट करता, कित्याक आयज तेंच्यांनी जे कॅरियर गायडन्स स्टुडंट्साक लागून दवरलेले आसा. आयज खरेंच हांव खंय तरी म्हणटा कितें आख्ख्या मोर्मुगांव तालुकाचे अरावंड एक मोर दॅन 600 स्टुडंट्स जे आयज हांगा प्रेजेंट आसा आनी तेंच्या लागून तेंचो फ्युचर कॅरियर गायड, तेंचो कॅरियर कसो आसा हेजे लागून आमचो की नोट स्पिकर जो आसतलो आयज सर प्रवीण, तो तांकां गायड करतलो आयज सगळ्या स्टुडंट्सांक. आनी तेजे लागून आमच्या रवींद्र भवनान हो प्रोग्राम ऑर्गनायज केलो आसा. म्हाका दिसता हो फर्स्ट टायम येदो व्हडलो प्रोग्राम जाता तेचे 600 स्टुडंट्स अक्रॉस मोर्मुगांव तालुकासून आयज पार्टिसिपेट जाल्लेले आसा. येयले तेंच्या बरोबर तेंचे टिचर्स येयलेले आसा. खरेंच बरें दिसता कित्याक आमच्या टायमाचेर, आतां हांव स्टुडंट्सां कडेन तेंच उलयतालो, आमच्या टायमाचेर तेन्ना असले कॅरियर गायडन्स आनी कितें नासलें. आमीचे डिसिजन आमी स्वता घेताले. आमचे फ्रेंड्साचे वरसून आमी डिसिजन घेताले. आमी फ्रेंड आर्ट्सान गेलो तेच्या फाटल्यान आमी आर्ट्सान एडमिशन घेताले. कोण कॉमर्सान गेलो आमी कॉमर्सान गेले फ्रेंड्स. सो फ्रेंड्स कितें करताले तेजे प्रमाणे सगळे जाण डिसायड करताले आपलो ग्रूप खंय आसा, आपले फ्रेंड खंय आसा. सो आयज तशें ना, आयज भुरग्यांक ह्या आयच्या फास्ट जनरेशना भितर सगळ्यांक एक ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी मेळिल्ली आसा आनी स्पेशली म्हाका दिसता हो कॅरियर गायडन्स तांकां खूब फायदेशीर जातलो आनी आतांची भुरगीं आसा ती हुशार भुरगीं आसा ते जाणा दे नो वॉट दे वॉन्ट टू डू इन फ्युचर आनी दे आर व्हेरी कॉन्फिडंट कित्याक आतां पयलीं कशे स्टुडंट आसता चडशे एवरेज, आतांची भुरगीं म्हणटा ती सारकी ब्रिलियंट भुरगीं आसा, शिकपाक हुशार आसा. सो म्हाका दिसता आयज जो तांकां कॅरियर गायडन्साचो जो लाभ मेळटलो स्पेशली रविंद्र भवनाक लागून तेंचे चॅरमॅन, वायस चॅरमॅन आनी बाकीचे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर जे कंटिन्युअसली रविंद्र भवनान जे काम चालू आसा आनी आयज हांव स्पिचीन म्हाजें सांगलेलें आसा कितें आख्ख्या गोंया भितर खंयचे बेस्ट ऑर्गनायजेशन रविंद्र भवन आसा तें आमचे मुरगांवचे रविंद्र भवन आसा कित्याक तेंच्यांनी खूब काम चल्लां, खूब बरें काम चल्लां आनी कंटिन्युअस प्रोग्राम चल्ला, खंयसरूच ते फाटी ना. म्हाका दिसता भुरग्यांक लागून ड्रॉइंग कॉम्पिटिशन, फॅन्सी ड्रेस कॉम्पिटिशन, नाट्य हेजे कितलेशे कविता म्हणून आनी कितें कितलेशे प्रोग्राम चालूच आसता आनी म्हाका दिसता एवरी ऑल्टरनेट डेट हांव जावं ह्या वास्कोचो आमदार बाब दाजी सालकर जावं आमी सदांच ह्या प्रोग्रामाक रविंद्र भवनान ह्या 2 वर्सां भितर कमीत 100 फावटी तरी येयलेले आसा. सो इतलें काम तेंचें चालू आसा. सो तांकां परत एकदां कॉंग्रेच्युलेट करता.
भुरग्यांक एक करियर गायडन्साचो तरी प्रोग्राम दवरलो, तुमी सहभागी आसले, गुड मेसेज, वॉट इज युअर मेसेज टू ऑल द पीपल हू आर लिसनिंग टू यू रायट नाउ?
सगळ्यात पयलीं हांव आमच्या रविंद्र भवनचे चॅरमॅन जयंत जाधव तांचे कॉंग्रेच्युलेट करता की फक्त आर्ट एंड कल्चराच्याच गोष्टी हांगा करनासतना बाकीच्यो पसून ज्यो समाजाक आज जाय गरज आसा त्यो गरजो वळखून ताज्या खातीर प्रोग्राम्स दवरप आनी ते एक्झिक्यूट करप, म्हाका दिसता ताज्या खातीर हांव ताजे कॉंग्रेच्युलेट करता. आनी आज करियर गायडन्स कोर्स जे आज कीनोट स्पिकर आयला प्रवीण सबनीस सर, म्हाका दिसता ताजो फायदो आमच्या भुरग्यांक खूब जातलो आनी आज आमी इतले मोठ्या कॉम्पिटेटीव वर्ल्डान आसा आनी तांकां करियर गायडन्स मेळप हें खूब गरजेचें आसा. आमकां आमचो काळ याद जाता तेन्ना करियर गायडन्स बी कांय नाशिल्लें. जेन्ना तुजी कशी पर्संटेज येता ताजेर तूं फुडें वतालो. सो बाय फ्लूक पसून तुका सपोज एक 60-70% तुका गेली जाल्यार तो सायन्सीक वचपाक शकतालो आनी मागीर खंय तरी जायना म्हणून तो फाटीं सरतालो. अश्यो खुबश्यो गोश्टी अजून घडटात. म्हणजे एक MBA जाल्लो स्टुडंट पसून परत इंजिनियरींग करता आनी परत तेंय जायना म्हणून खंय तरी कॉमर्साक वचून लास्टाक एक अकावंटंट म्हणून कामाक लागता. सो अशेंय आमी हें पळयलां की म्हणजे कॅरियर गायडन्स नाशिल्ल्या कारणान आमी एक एकदां भटकतात आनी त्या खातीर म्हाका दिसता हो करियर गायडन्स कोर्स आज खूब इम्पॉर्टंट आसा. आनी भुरगीं आज रायट एजीची भुरगीं आज हांगा आयल्या, म्हणजे 9वेची बी भुरगीं हांगा आयल्या. सो जेन्ना ती 10वेन वतली दे वील ऑल्सो हॅव देअर सेट गोल्स, म्हणजे आमकां हांगा वचपाक जाय वा थंय वचपाक जाय तांच्या गायडन्सा प्रमाणे. दीस वील हेल्प देम इन देअर कॅरियर्स आनी फुडें कॅरियर चेंज करना आसतना आपले कितें क्षमता आसा नाल्यार आपलें कितें पॅशन आसा ताजेरूच ती फुडें वतली.
नमस्कार. आज आनंदाची गोष्ट म्हणजे माझे वाईस चेअरमॅन डॉक्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रभुदेसाई सगळे बोर्ड मेंबर आयज हांगा ह्या करियर गायडन्स प्रोग्रामा खातीर आमी तुमचे कडेन उलयता. खास करून म्हणजे आज गोविंद गावडेजी आयज ह्या एका अर्थान रिस्टार्टिंग ऑफ स्वतंत्रवीर सावरकर ऑडिटोरियम आसा, आमदार दाजी साळकर आसा, आमदार संकल्प आमोणकर आसा आणि खरं म्हटल्यार भुरग्यांच्या बरोबर आमी करता. आयज अरावंड 600+ मुरगांव स्कुलांतली 9वी 10वीची भुरगीं आयज आयल्या. श्री प्रवीण सबनीस जी ताका मार्गदर्शन करतले करियर गायडन्साचेर. आमी कला, संस्कृती, ड्रॉइंग, आर्ट, एक्टिंग सगळें करता. त्याच बरोबर भुरग्यांक कितें तरी दिवचें अशें आमच्या बोर्ड मेंबरांनी चिंतलें आनी करियर गायडन्स कित्याक जशें आमदारांनी सांगलें तशें करियर गायडन्स आमकां आमच्या टायमार खबर नासलें. 9वी 10वी जाली खंय तरी कोण खंय वयता म्हणून आमी आर्ट्साक गेले. नो डावट आमी आज पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएट जाले, शिकले, सगळें मान्य आसा. पूण करियर गायडन्स जावंक जाय की आपूण फुडें वचून कितें शिकतलो. आमचे गोंयचें भवितव्य, आमच्या देशाचें भवितव्य घडोवपी माणकुली भुरगीं म्हणून आज रविंद्र भवनच्या कमिटीन हो प्रयत्न केला की करचें म्हणून. त्याच बरोबर अनेक क्लासीस जे तबला, हार्मोनियम, कथक, कीबोर्ड ते सगळ्या भुरग्यांनी लाभ घेवचे. नाटक आसता, तियात्र आसता, तेजो लाभ घेवचो. देव बरें करूं तुमकां सगळ्यांक सुद्दां पत्रकार बंधूंक की तुमी आयले. देव बरें करूं. वंदे मातरम.
हॅलो. मागता भुरग्यां कडेन ताणें भितर येवन बसपाक येवची. सगळ्या टिचर्सां कडेन विनंती आसा की ताणें भुरग्यांक प्लीज भितर बसोवची. आमचे कीनोट स्पिकर प्रवीण सबनीस हांगा तुमकां सगळ्यांक बरे तरेन मार्गदर्शन करतले करियर गायडन्साच्या बाबतींत. रवींद्र भवन हें उक्तें जावन 4 वर्सां जाल्या. म्हाका भुरग्यां कडेन विनंती आसा की आमकां मेंटेन करपाक खूब त्रास जातात, पण भुरग्यांक सदांच संवय आसता की च्विंगम खावपाची, सो ते प्लीज ते खंयच्या तरी चेराक लावचे न्ही, एकूच रिक्वेस्ट आसा सगळ्यांक. आनी हांव मागता प्रवीण संगी संगीत ताणें मुखार सुत्रां हातीन घेवची.
Good morning. Audience like.
सर मायकर फोन कर म्हणून सांग, फोन
ऑडियन्स लाईक प्लीज आणि पेंटिंग
फोन कर म्हणून सांग.
Bye. Okay, I'll start by asking a question. Is everyone listening?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I will ask a question.
संजय
If the answer is yes, you will put your hand up. If the answer is no, you keep your hand down.
बस बस
So the first question is, can you sing?
खाली बोल.
No, don't show me hands.
क्या करने के लिए?
So I'm looking at hands and I can count around
हाँ, कम कर.
some 30 plus hands.
संजय
Second question, can you dance? Okay, there are more hands now, almost more than 70 hands. Can you draw? Okay, now here there are more than, I think, even 150 hands. Alright, including the ones on top. Okay. Now I will ask the questions again. Can you sing Jana Gana Mana? Now everyone is putting their hand up. First time when I asked, can you sing? Some people didn't put their hands up. Keep your hands down. Now what I want to tell you is, everyone knows to sing Jana Gana Mana means everyone knows to sing. If I ask a baby who has not learned to talk, just making sound, wow, wow, wow. And if I tell the baby, can you sing? It will say, if I tell sing, they will, something they will do. If the baby, you put the music on, baby has just learned to stand, can't even walk. The baby will start dancing to the music. It will move its hands. And you can ask your parents. They will tell you when you were small, much before you went to any school, you could draw on the wall, on the floor, on your face, on your hand, without anyone teaching you to draw. What I'm trying to tell you is, you were born with abilities to sing, dance, draw, before you were taught them. But it was not ability maybe. Maybe you couldn't sing well, maybe you couldn't dance well, you couldn't draw well, but you still did it because you didn't know that you must do things which you can. So like the baby doesn't know that it can't draw, so it draws. It draws whatever it wants. It sings whatever it wants, it dances the way it wants. Because it wants to do it. But as we grow older, we go to school, primary school, middle school, high school, then higher secondary, college. As we go up, we start knowing that we cannot do things. I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't do maths, I can't do science, I can't understand history, I can't speak language so well, I can't write the correct grammar, I can't remember dates from history. All these things we start believing, and because of that we can't do it. So all babies who are born with 4 qualities. The first quality is the baby doesn't have a sense of shame. आमकां लज दिसना ल्हान भुरगीं जेन्ना आमी आसता न्ही आमकां लज नासता. You may be wearing simple clothes, you may be wearing dirty clothes, you may be wearing torn clothes. Babies don't know anything. They are still smiling. They can have mud on face and they're smiling. Right? Because babies don't know. Later on, you think
There are some things I don't know. Let's clap for our minister and the MLAs as they go. Thank you so much for your time. Dear Mormugao. Alright, how can you put that? We don't have sense of shame. But as we grow older, now you are 8, you start having sense of shame. I'm very happy many of you immediately when I asked, you responded. You responded to the minister also. It was very good. That shows confidence. So like babies are born with confidence. But that confidence comes from not having sense of shame. If I think I don't look good, then I have sense of shame. If I think I don't have good height, or if I think I don't have good clothes, then I have sense of shame. So first thing is we are born without sense of shame, but later on it comes to us, and if you want to do anything good in life, you must overcome sense of shame. Second thing is, babies don't have feeling of failure. I have seen my daughter, I have seen a lot of other, young babies learning to, climb up on the bed. They hold the bed sheet and they pull themselves up. And that time sometimes they fall. If they fall, they cry for some time. They get angry. Like my daughter would start beating the floor only. They get angry, because she's fallen on the floor. But only for some time. After some time again she will catch the bed sheet and she will try to pull herself up. When they learn to walk, they keep falling. But they keep learning to walk. They keep learning to run. While running they fall. They hurt themselves. But again they will keep doing it. So babies don't have feeling of failure. They don't stop because they fail. Right? But as you grow older, when you come to your age, sometimes you start worrying about failure. So if I get poor marks or if I fail in maths, I start thinking I can't do maths. I'm giving you a simple example. In my class, there were 4 students who were first my senior, then they were my classmates, and then they were my junior. They were studying 2 years in one class. And they were failing in maths. 4 friends. There were many others who were failing in maths, but 4 who failed in maths. Out of them, one is a successful shopkeeper. He sells clothes. Whenever somebody comes, there are different clothes, different meter size. He doesn't require calculator to tell, he can tell. One has become builder. He is understanding calculations. One is selling some products and one is manufacturing. All 4 of them are successful persons using mathematics, using arithmetic. But the school, they would fail in maths. Now why they are successful is because despite failing so much in maths, whatever they learned, the practical thing, and most of them have learned later, not in school. They have learned out of school. But because they kept learning, they became successful. Because eventually in real life, what is the level of mathematics you will require? The new education policy is changing all this. It will take some time maybe, but they've started, the CM announced that it will be implemented from this year. It will take maybe some time. But for most of you, at least by the time you are in college, you will have a lot of choice-based learning. And that is very important. Everyone doesn't need to learn the same maths as the other person. What scientists require maths, what engineers require, what businessmen require, what an ordinary citizen requires are different levels. We don't need to be good at everything. In a cricket team, you see, we would love to have all-rounders. No? The best team will be with just many all-rounders. But there could be some people who are only bowlers. I remember, my father used to tell me of one match We had 4 spin bowlers, Indian cricket team. And there was more than 1 day remaining, and our batsmen had scored an overall lead, and it was a test match, of hardly around 100 runs. And these 4 spinners, they didn't know to bat. So they didn't go to bat only. If they had gone to bat, maybe they could have scored another 20 runs more. And these 4 spinners, and there was one full day, they got the other team out for less than 60 runs. So they were good. Although they couldn't bat, they were so good as spinners or as bowler that they were useful for the team. We have seen some players. There is one person, who is considered one of the best fielders of his time. He stays in Kanpur. He's not Indian, Jaunty Rhodes. Okay? So Ravindra Bhavan should get him here, Jaunty Rhodes. So that all the students can meet Jaunty Rhodes. Now, in his team, he was also a batsman, but his main role was as fielder. Why I am telling you this is all do not have to be perfect at everything. Each one of us has something different. That is that failure makes us think that you will never, go ahead. My daughter, she came one day, when she was in the 7th standard, first month only, June month, she came very angry. So, when she was eating also, she was very angry. Your parents will tell you, you are all snubbed like that. No? So I asked her what happened. She asked me why we have to learn maths. So I told her because it is useful. What useful is it? So I said last year we had done a badminton court in our colony where we stay, and I had done it with all children. I said we were holding strings, and then we did the painting and all that. How we got the right angle? So she said, one side you counted 3, another side you counted 4, and then when third side became 5, that was right angle you told us. I said that is Pythagoras theorem. I learned in school. So she was still angry. She's saying, you can teach me this, why I have to learn it in school? So I said, how many things I can teach? Right? I may forget, but in school there is a syllabus. So they will not forget to teach it. I said, the only problem is, in school sometimes, they are not teaching you in a practical way, that's all. If you are taught like this, I believe if students are taught Pythagoras theorem by drawing on ground, you can't take protractor not to do right angle. Such a big badminton court, volleyball court, you require to use this Pythagoras theorem. So she still said, but I don't like maths. So I said, yeah, that is possible. Like I don't like lady finger, Bende. But I eat. Okay, I eat. No? I don't take second time. Because I don't like. But later on, when I was around 45 years age, I got diabetes. So somebody told me Bende is good for diabetes. So I began to eat. Now if I had in my mind, I can eat, I don't like it. So I told her, see, you don't like it is acceptable. But you must learn the practical thing, right? So learn. She said, if I only learn and I understand practical things, I'll fail in the maths paper. So I said, fail. She's saying, huh? I said, fail. But learn. For next 2 weeks, she was asking me, I can fail? You will not get angry? I said, no, I will not get angry. But you must learn. Okay, I will ask you, what you learn? You must learn. So then after 2 weeks, one bulb came in her mind. She came and said, if I fail every paper right through the year, I'll have to repeat class. I said, repeat. She's saying, if I repeat, then my friends will go in the next class. So I said, then study to pass. Study a little bit, put some effort to pass. Why I'm telling you this is, my wife, my brothers, they were all telling me I'm gone mad. What are you telling your daughter? But what I was basically trying to do was remove the fear of maths from her mind. The fear of failure. And then when she began to study, she was studying to pass. But she was kept getting better and better marks. Eventually the 10th standard she got so good marks, like how your Vasco Emilio was saying, no? Everyone is telling send her to science. You know? But what I knew is she doesn't like maths. But she has learned maths. And learned so well that she got high marks. And same thing with science, she learned. Now why I'm telling you this is, by removing failure out of your head, you will perform better. This is one thing. The second thing is, the first job that she went for, although she studied English and psychology in the art stream, the first job that she went for was for event manager, wedding planner. And often she was working in Mumbai, she would call me and tell me, I used Pythagoras theorem today. You know? So, you know, like they have to do setup, no? They have to put up things and all. It's very creative actually. But she was using science. She was using maths. She was using physics. Now she could understand. Sometimes when you are learning, you may not understand what is the use of it. Right? But there is, if they have written a syllabus and if it is being taught to you, there is some use of it. You will know only later. And that's why it's very important. There is a friend of mine, you know, his father passed away at a young age, so he started work. The bank, you know, he was working in the bank offered him a job. So he took up the job. But when he was in college, he was very thin and skinny. Very thin and skinny. So he was going to the gym to build up his body. Since he was very sincere, the gym instructor told him it was a government gym. So सांचो यो मरे, सकाळी यो मरे, म्हाका help कर. So he began to go. But he got a job in the bank. Still, in morning he would go to the gym to help his instructor. And also he got a chance to exercise. Then he would go to the bank. He would have bath there in the gym only, indoor stadium in Panjim. He would change his clothes, go to the bank, work full day. In the evening again go to the gym. And he eventually, after a few years, left the bank job and set up a fitness studio. And right now, he had established 10 in Goa. I think right now 8 exist. Norbert Fitness Studio. Oh. He went through certification to be a gym trainer. And often when I sprain or some, pain, I have to go to an orthopedic doctor, no, but I phone him and tell him, this is happening, what? He can tell me because he has studied it. He is not qualified like a doctor to give me medicine. But he can tell me what it is. He tells me, pull your thumb, that sprain will go, and I do it. So there is certain thing, he is now trained in it. And I always make a joke and call him doctor, I call him. Why? Because he knows something that orthopedic doctors know. But now how he knows it? He has studied it. He has actually attended courses. He has passed exams. He has certification which says that he knows fitness and health. Otherwise, he came from a very poor family and his qualification was not even enough to get him work in the bank. He got it because his father was working there and his father had passed it. But he went on to. Now this is what? Failure. He could have just said, okay, now I am not good enough. I don't have qualification. So in today's time, the good news is, if you want to go somewhere, you can go in some particular way. And I'll give you a real example. There was a boy whom I met. His family was friends with my wife's family. I met him at a function in my father-in-law's house. His father-in-law's birthday or something. I met him. So he was a very young boy. He came talk to me. He was in the 9th standard. So I told him, good. What do you do on Sundays? He said nothing. So I said, Sundays I go for trekking, come. So he and his brother who was in 7th standard, 2 of them would come for treks. While trekking, he would walk with me and he would talk. I want to become doctor, he would say. I want to become doctor. So I used to ask him, what do you do? If you become doctor, what do you do? Anyone wants to become doctor? Put your hands up. Okay, 1, 2. What do you do by becoming a doctor? Just tell me. Help? Okay, you help people to be healthy or if they are ill to heal them. Right? He also told me the same thing. He would be telling that only. In the 10th standard, he got so poor marks, forget about science, he had to, only option he had was to go for commerce. So he was So his father called me, he said, he's crying, he's not stopping crying. He was worried, that he may do some not a good thing by being so upset. So I went all the way to Mormugao. I told him, what you wanted to become? I wanted to become a doctor. I said, and do what? So I wanted to help people be healthy. So I said, where do people become healthy? Or if they ill, how do they get healed? So he said, a hospital. So I said, you got chance to become accountant in a hospital. Immediately he was very happy. I'll be in hospital. I'll become accountant in hospital. So he went. He studied 11, 12, first year commerce. By the time he didn't like it. He said, I don't like it. And he dropped out of college. Again his father called me. This fellow dropped out of college. He stopped going only to college. I don't like it. So I then told him. I realized he didn't like the subjects. And this is a very important thing. I'll talk about it later. Subjects also are important. When you're choosing career, it's not I want, I want to play cricket for India. Can you bat? No. Can you bowl? No. Can you field? No. Then how can I play? I must go for the subjects, no batting, bowling, fielding. Something I should be, right? So, this fellow, I went and told him, okay, you don't want to study in college, right? Go and do the course for becoming a medical representative. Medical representative or a medical rep as they are called, MR. They work for pharmaceutical companies. They go to pharmacies and tell, these are our products, these are our tablets, these are our syrups, these are our whatever. So keep them with you. Then they go to doctors and tell, these are our products. Recommend them. Recommend these things to patients. So for if you are having fever or if you are having a throat infection, this is a tablet. They are already, now this is a new company which has come out with a new tablet. Same composition, chemical composition. So he went and did that, he became a medical rep. Now he was very happy. He was going and meeting doctors. He was going and meeting pharmacists. So he was happy. Alright? So one day, he took me to show his company in Baina. He called me, because I was in Baina, he called me at one particular place. So at the entrance of Baina, there is one small plot. So I asked him, what is this plot for? He said, I don't know. I said, find out. He went and found out that it was for a first aid center. He applied for it, got a loan from EDC, tied up with another doctor to start a first aid center. But he realized he was not earning enough money. Small it was. One, treatment room, one waiting room, and this thing only. That is it. 2 or 3 rooms only. But most people were not coming. They would go to hospicio or GMC. So doing this boy realized he's not earning, so he came to me and said, I have staff, I can't pay their salaries. So I told him, do something else from this hospital. So they started doing safety program, stress management programs, and they kept doing that. And he began to earn money. He earned a lot of money. And he was not only doing in Verna, he was doing outside Goa also. He would do in Pune, he would do in Mangalore. So he was now earning money. And with that earning money, one day he read in a newspaper that there was a hospital for sale in Mormugao. And this boy read it. Went and met that one doctor was retiring. He had nobody in his family who could run the hospital. So he was saying it was a small hospital. Just some 2-3 rooms, 2 wards, 1 operation theatre, 2 doctors' rooms, 1 small pharmacy, 1 small canteen. That's it. Small hospital. But it had an operation theatre. It had consulting rooms. This fellow went and bought that hospital. And he's owner of a hospital. He's not a doctor. You understand what I'm saying? So what was the thing? To heal people. No, he's doing that. He has hired doctors. And one of the doctors right now is his wife. He married a doctor. And she probably married him because he has a hospital. And he has married her because she's a doctor. But anyway, they are a happy family. They're doing well. What I'm purposely giving this example. This is a real example, okay, of a Goan example. Of a boy who didn't do well, but don't give up on your dream. If you want, what we confuse, no, we think that the profession is a career. No. Profession is the name of the job. Doctor is a job. If you want to work in the health industry, you can be a doctor of different types. You can be an Ayurvedic doctor also, you can be a homeopathic doctor. You can be a nurse, you can be a pharmacist. You can be the manufacturer of medical equipment. You can be a medical photographer who photographs medical things. You can be a journalist for a medical journal. You could be running counseling NGO. You could go from arts into psychiatry, but not the clinical psychiatry, the psychological one. You can get into so many different professions. You could be somebody who makes medical equipment, somebody who sells medical equipment. You could be a medical rep, so many things. So your dream is to work in the health industry. You want to work in the sports industry. You are not good as a player. You can become a commentator. You can be the person who is selling sports equipment. You can become the manager of a sports team. You can be an accountant of... I know some people, who were like footballers in Goa, who got injuries and they had to discontinue football. They went on to become umpire, and they are still, some of them are still referees, not umpire, referee, football referees at the international level. Even after the age of 60, when they are based on a fitness, they are, like made in charge of the referees. So now you are not a referee, but you are in charge of the referee. There is so much scope. I know sports persons who did not even play for Goa, but who have become sports journalists, sports photographers. Your dream is that, what area you want to work in. And that can come to you whatever way it will come to you. That is a dream. The job may change. Careers may change. Yes, so suppose you want to be a doctor and you're not getting there, or you want to become an engineer and you're not getting to that college or qualification, don't worry. You can get in some particular way. I tell this very much to a lot of people. I know more than a dozen boys who are either in my batch or slightly 1 year senior to me or 1-2 years junior to me. So I knew them. Who got poor marks at 10th. And since they got poor marks at 10, they went for polytechnic. They join whatever course they got. Electrical, civil. Whatever they got, they joined. And through 3 years of college, they struggled in the polytechnic. They were not understanding anything. After they passed out, eventually, they went and worked somewhere, and while working, they learned. And some of them are doing international level business. They are manufacturers, some of them are builders, some of them are in business of related to that field, like electrical business. So you understood what I am saying? They are employing other people who are more qualified than them. So it's not only qualification that is important, it's competence. Qualification, yes, may get you a job, but competence will allow you to grow. The most famous story in India of a student is Eklavya, who learned without a teacher teaching him, Dronacharya teaching him. And I want you to understand this, that a lot of things maybe you need to learn on your own or with different other people. Right? And that is important. Sir was telling you about certain programs happening here. I will strongly recommend this, that all of you should come for at least some performing arts. And I'll tell you why. You don't learn music only to play music. Or you don't learn dance only to dance. Or you don't learn to draw only to draw. You learn it because you learn something else. When you learn music, you understand patterns. You understand sequence. And this makes you good at math, science. It also, these things get in your ability to focus and remember. Memory skills improve. If you are having some performing art, because if you can, suppose you are taking part in theatre, and if you can remember your lines, how you will not be able to remember what you study, what you read? So performing arts, and performing arts are of two types. One is on stage, one is off stage. Like writing. Writing is an off stage. Or things you do with the hands, craft, drawing. So you are doing it and audience is seeing it. But one on stage is where you are performing here and they are seeing it. So one of this, I am not saying everyone has to come on stage, you can do off stage, but it will help you do your studies better. Okay? And you can go and tell your parents that I told you this. That if you are doing some performing art, so even in the 10th standard, don't give up. It is very useful. My daughter, when she would be studying, she will get tired and then she would put music and she would dance and she would feel fresh. This is one thing. What a hobby does for you is this. So, whatever you want to become, you have to decide as per what is your interest and what is your ability. Both things are important. Interest, not just I want to become doctor. Question is whether you like science. Question is whether you like first aid. Now you may be scared. I know a lot of my doctor friends who in the first 1 or 2 weeks, like they would faint in the college. They are shown dead body. They touch the dead body. But you overcome it. Some of them are very successful big doctors. Imagine one day I faint, I leave and go. The question is, it's a normal thing, no? You're not used to seeing a dead body from so close. You're not used to it. And that too of a stranger. That too maybe decomposed. So, you are feeling that fear, but doesn't mean the fear will remain. Okay? But whether the subject, whether science interests me, whether biology interests me is very important if you want to be a doctor. But if you like to be in the health industry and you don't like this thing, maybe you could become a physiotherapist. Maybe you could become a pharmacist. You could become something else. But as a pharmacist, you must know chemistry. So what are the subjects I like? At the end, I give some websites. Alright, and all of you can just write those, or I don't mind even sending it through Ravindra Bhavan to all your schools. So maybe they could put up a poster there. But you can visit this to understand what sites we can go to and understand what does a particular subject require. When I was in like 11, 12, 9, 10, I knew to get to architecture, I wanted to become architect. Alright? To get to architecture, I needed marks in science and maths. It was called PCM. Physics, chemistry, maths would be counted. So I needed to get good marks. But not today. If anyone wants to go for architecture, you can go through arts. What is only required is maths. Even if you go for arts, you have to go with maths. If you want to go for architecture. So things are changing. Things are evolving. Now tomorrow somebody still can't get to architecture. You can get to interior design. You can get to furniture design. You can get to different other things. Right? So this is what I want you to understand. So where will you get this information from? I'll give you the sources. Plus, I'll be happy to also any of you, but through your school you have to approach me. Alright? To come and even guide further on specifics. If people want to go for engineering, what are the things, what are the options? There's a lot of scope for engineering. There's a friend of mine who telling me, I want to go to the army. I want to join the army. So now, his height and weight, they filled him in that only, in the preliminary. So he was in tears, He's saying, they are not picking me in the army. So I said, what do you like to do? What else you would like to do? Saying, I like to cook. So I said, become a cook in the army. And he actually joined it. He is a cook in the army. And he's very happy. Because he's also taught, he has to march fast. They are taught to use a gun. Because, suppose there is a war or something, all the people in the army are supposed to. But he's a cook. There are tailors who are required in the army. There are engineers. There are IT engineers who are required. There are doctors who are required. Nurses are required in the army. You get it? Now, if I go to the army, I only want to be a soldier, cannot be a thing. If you want to go to the army and you can't be selected for being a soldier, you can join some other way. At the end of it, people will say, you are an army person. Right? So keep that in mind. You can get to wherever you want, but there are many ways to get there. And that is called the dream, or that is called the career. To work in the army. Suppose still, no way you can get into the army, you can get into the police. You can't get into the police, also get into home guards. You can't get into home guards, also get into security. Security services, right? There are people. And they're doing well. See, how well you do in life will depend on how you can grow in that career. Okay? So, there is nothing that can stop you. I always like to give the example of, one girl who during partition, their family was displaced from Pakistan. What was, that part of India which became Pakistan, they were displaced to India. So they were living in an army camp, Air Force army camp on the border. And this girl, she would stand there and see the Air Force planes taking off. So she would be damn happy looking at the planes. So when she went to primary school, she told, I want to fly in the sky. And she would keep telling this. And to her teachers, to her parents, to her friends, I want to fly in the sky. That was her dream. When she went to college, they wouldn't take her in engineering. She was trying to be a pilot. So one of the ways that time was to get into electrical engineering or electronic engineering. But they were not taking her because no girl was coming there. But eventually she got into it. Later on, she went on to become India's first woman in space. Her name? Kalpana Chawla. Now I think of it, she achieved her dream. But I think suppose they had not taken her in college, I am sure she would still achieve the dream. If you want to fly in the sky, what else can you be other than an astronaut? Yeah, you can be a pilot, then air hostess, ground staff, then very good, skydiver. You can be a skydiver. You can be a drone photographer. You can be one who makes kites and sails. You can be a geography teacher. You can work with the friends of astronomy. And you can do all these things. Right? I have met, we had, to our good fortune, 2 excellent geography teachers in school. But these people were good teachers because they loved that geography part. They were good teachers because of that. We have had good biology teacher. They are good because they love biology. Somebody who loves maths. If you love what you are doing, you will do very well in your career. But you have to identify that interest is one, but in interest also look at subjects. Suppose those subjects are not doing well for you, you need to put effort there. If you require that particular subject to get to a particular line, you will have to improve. And in today's time, a lot of us use the internet for wasting our time. But you can use the internet for using your time. To learn new knowledge, new skills. Okay? I have seen people who have done 2-month online free course on screenplay and they have become screenplay writers in Hindi films. I know of people. I know of one friend of mine who learned filmmaking online. Similarly, some, like 10 days or 12-day course, and now he's coaching other people for acting, for facing the camera, and that is his job. He's not in the film line, but his job is to create people to go to the film line. And that is the beauty of it, that you can work in whichever career you want. Also, try to understand what type of careers are there. There are some careers which are called desk careers, which you sit at a desk. There are some careers which are called traveling careers. You have to travel, you have to move around. So people in sales and things, they have to travel. You don't get to sit in one place. You have to travel around. Now, whether that excites you. Then there are some which are called research-based careers, where you have to study, you have to understand. So, like even somebody like an accountant is in research. They have to study figures, they have to understand, they have to come out. So whether you like that type of thing. Then in some cases you have to convince other people. In some cases you have to make presentations. So you must also ask whether I like those things. Right? Then some careers will have very specific things. Like I'll give an example. Whoever said they want to become doctor, you have to study a lot. You have to read a lot. You have to. Okay? Suppose you want to become a good lawyer, you have to read a lot. You cannot become a good lawyer. Just by talking you cannot become. You must know also, right? So there is a lot of reading involved. Now suppose if that doesn't excite you, then that's not the career for you. Or you develop an interest in reading. Because that is important. Now who will tell you this? Who will tell you what is there in a particular career? Is somebody who is there in career. So those who want to become doctors, go and talk to doctors. Those who want to become accountant, go and talk to accountant. Those who want to do business, go and talk to people who are in business. Those who want to become teachers, go and talk to teachers. Because I have noticed one thing, a lot of people think, teacher job, best job, you get holidays, you get good salary, half day work, and this. It's not like that. You will have to go and talk to them. So go and talk to these people who are around you. Find out from them what is required in that particular profession. Maybe then you will understand. I'm into training which is mainly outdoor, doing in the jungle and all that. But often we have to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to a jungle and be ready for doing the training program. So if somebody comes, college students generally come to me, they want to work with me. So I ask them whether you get up in the morning at 3:30. Everything else will be fun, but this is, but suppose you can't get up at 3:30, then you can't work with me. Right? Theatre, like I used to be in not professional theatre, but I was into what is called amateur theatre. So somebody wanted to act, we used to ask them, will you lift the platforms? Because you may be an actor, but if platforms have to be lifted, we don't have coolies with us, right? We have to lift. So you take that as a criteria. You may think, okay, I am going on stage and only acting. No, there are other things. So in that particular job, okay, Virat Kohli doesn't eat anything oily. He doesn't eat anything that has got sweeteners in it. He doesn't eat artificial food. And that's why he can be a good, healthy, fit cricketer. At an age when cricketers retire, he's as fit as the people who are 10 years younger to him. Why? Because he's leading a particular life. He has chosen for himself that I want to be a fit person, I will not eat these things. I will sacrifice. And that is what you have to. Hello? So that is what. Yeah. So that is what. Hello. Yeah. So that is what you have to do. Now, like what I said, so I'll just put it in this thing. I'll send this to you. Okay? I'll send it to your school. And maybe they could put it up on a board. 7 steps to identifying your career. The first one is start with what is your dream. What is that I like to do? Alright, so that's the first one, which I've already talked about. Understand your abilities. Do I have those abilities? If I don't have them, I can acquire them. I am one person, in our school, they used to have a lot of education, a lot of theatre. And theatre, at least somebody used to push me on stage. But I never took part in education. Even till the 12th. It was only in the first year of college that I started taking part in youth festivals and I discovered that I can speak. I never did it in school. So this is an ability. In school I didn't have it. In the higher secondary I didn't have it. But in college I had it. So abilities will come because you are learning them. So what is the abilities required? So like I said, to be able to read, to be able to research, to be able to solve. Third is collect information. I'll give you at the end the websites as well, and I'll send it to your school. And I'll put a note which website where, but I'll explain it to you so you understand it. And I've noticed some of you have come with books, so you can write that also. Fourth is talk to people from the field. Communicate with them. Talk to that person in the profession you want to go to. Or maybe talk to an expert. Sometimes a teacher can also guide you. A teacher of engineering can guide you about different types of engineering and what it takes, what it requires. Decide then what do I need to do now, what do I need to do when I'm in the 10th, when I'm in the 11th, when I'm in the 12th. You have to have a plan of action. Talk about this to your parents, your teachers. They give you feedback. Your parents are your sponsors. They are a support system. They must be able to be on the same plane as you. Okay? So you have to share your thinking with them, convince them also. And if required, if they are right, listen to them. But most parents sometimes can be not listening to you is because you're not telling them anything. Right? So you need to talk to your parents. And then whatever skills are required, whatever competencies are required, you will sharpen them. Last two things that I am putting up before you is you require qualifications. Qualifications of 3 types. First, what is called academic qualification, which says your BA, BCom, or you have done vocational stream, or you have done an ITI course. That is your academic qualification. Then there is extracurricular. What else you can do? So sportsmen get selected sometimes in a particular job because they are sportsmen only, or performing artist, or anything extracurricular. So you need to collect those certificates also. Work experience. Alright? Right from the time I was in the 8th standard, my father had made a habit, and which I continued with my daughter. For her, I started it from the 6th standard. That in the vacation she would work for some time, sitting on somebody's shop or something they would keep doing. It got us work experience. One of the work experience I got when I was in college and I was studying to be an architect was selling pickles this was in the 11th, 12th, selling pickles in Mormugao. I had to go door to door, sell pickles. Alright. Now I wanted to be an architect. If I were not going for architecture, I would go for arts, fine arts. I was very sure of it. But yet, I was selling pickles. Years, much years later. When I would sell pickles, somebody would close the door in my face, they would send a dog on me, or they would take the bottle and run away inside. And not give me money for it. It was very tough. But what I learned from it, later on when I